Hello, this is a collect call from
Levi Jonathan.
an incarcerated individual at Polk County South Jail. This call is not private. It will be recorded and may be monitored. If you believe this should be a private call, please hang up and follow facility instructions to register this number as a private number. To accept charges and consent to this recorded call, press 1. To refuse charges, thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Oh, praise Jah King. Saul was the first anointed king of Israel, anointed by the hand of Samuel, Jah prophet, priest, and judge of Israel. Saul is remembered for his jealousy towards David, who was chosen as Saul's successor because of Saul's disobedience and committing himself wholly to Lord's command. But was Saul really so bad as to deserve the reputation his name carries? Saul was a humble and devout religious man, a son of a prominent Benjaminite, quote-unquote, mighty man of power. Saul was described as a choice young man, so that there was not among the children of Israel a goodlier person than he. Despite his good looks and nobility, when Samuel went to fulfill Jah's vision to anoint Saul, Saul's response was, "Am I not a Benjaminite, the smallest of the tribes of Israel? And my family, the least of all?" Saul's goodliness didn't get to his head. This was why he was chosen. Soon after being anointed, Saul was given the gift of prophecy as Jah's spirit came upon him. Saul was given the eye instruction from Samuel. "When these signs are come unto you, do as occasions serve you, for Jah is with you." The scripture tells of a man that was immediately celebrated as the new sought-out leader of Israel, even to have gained a band of loyal followers whose heart Jah had touched. Yet not all were happy with this, as some envious ones openly despised Saul. Saul was also a courageous man who led Israel to victory over neighboring tribes that strove to drive Israel from the region or force the Israelites into servitude. When Saul heard of the Ammonites bullying his people, he cut up oxen to send to Jah tribes and warned that whoso did not join in battle, so shall it be done to theirs. Numbering 330,000 warriors, the Israelites, who were put in 3 companies by Saul, chased the Ammonites out. When the celebrating party suggested putting to death the sons of Belial that had been openly opposed to Saul's appointment, Saul forbid, proclaiming, "There shall not a man be put to death this day, for the Lord has wrought its salvation in Israel." Other nations that Saul led the Israelites in battle against were the Moabites, the Edomites, the Philistines, and the Amalekites. Saul would hold worshiping ceremonies in the midst of battle, complete with a makeshift tabernacle and sacrifices conducted by Jah priesthood. On the day of one battle against the Philistines, Saul ordered a community fast. Unaware of his father's order, Saul's valiant son Jonathan ate honey. In return, Saul condemned him to death. Ultimately, Jonathan was rescued, for the people pleaded for his cause. And another time, Saul spared the Kenites, who were settled among the Amalekites, because Saul recognized that the Kenites had been welcoming to the Israelites during the Exodus from Egypt. Thus, Saul was fairly minded and knowledgeable in history and had compassion on his fellow man. So where did Saul go wrong? Saul disobeyed Jah's command on 2 occasions. First, Samuel had instructed Saul to wait for him 7 days offering sacrifice at Gilgal, a town bordering Jericho, west of Jordan River, and less than 10 miles north of the so-called Dead Sea, and a place where Saul was acknowledged king by the Israelites. When 7 days came and Samuel had not showed, Saul proceeded to make the offerings. Suddenly, Samuel appeared and scolded Saul for having done foolishly. Saul's punishment, his kingdom would come to an end. In second instance, Israelites did not slay all the livestock of Amalekites upon defeating them in battle. Saul's reason to keep the best of the flocks was to use them as sacrificial offerings, yet the command was given through Samuel to slay all the livestock. So came the disapproval from Samuel. To obey is better than sacrifice, to hearken than the fat of rams. For rebellion is the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness idolatry. Because you has rejected Jah's word, Jah has rejected you. From that point on, David was chosen as the next king of Israel, yet not before Saul repented and worshipped Lord, and Samuel mourns. As an ordinary man, Saul's actions would not have been a grave sin. It was Saul's appointment to the position of king that required his utmost allegiance to Lord's command. Many people want to be leaders in the world. Some are motivated by the quest for power, wealth, and popularity. Few are guided by the desire to help others. Few are moved to serve Jah. Those that are chosen as standard bearers of Jah people have a responsibility that extends beyond that of the leaders of the world. The more that Jah calls, the more that Jah expects. As Christ say, unto you that hear shall more be given. So when these signs have come unto you, seize the moment, for Jah is with you. A reading from Jah's speech of Emperor Haile Selassie, May 2nd, 1952, to prepare Jah elect to lead Jah's soldiers in battle. To be selected as a military officer and a candidate for promotion is an high privilege. Although evident that war entails death, the death resulting therefrom is designed to preserve the life of others, to preserve the generation, and to elevate the history of a nation or people. This history springs from and can be maintained in part through education, the basis of one's behavior. There are cases when brilliant soldiers from Jah ranks are promoted as officers. This is achieved only through character and devotion to duty. History has reserved special places for such men who, although lacking the formal training of a military academy, yet have led armies and have bravely defended their country. Your formal training, together with your obligation, ought to prepare you to render better service in the establishment of peace and security. We are pleased to observe today the skill that you have acquired under the eye instruction of your Ethiopian officers. It demonstrates that you have been devoting your time to constructive ends. Today, although you have shown us your ability we admire, do not consider this graduation an end, yet a beginning. Remember that you are always students, for there is much to learn from experience. For Jah soldier, there are three fundamental principles to be observed: to lead a life of high integrity, to work assiduously, sacrifice himself for his country. When he follows these principles, he would have subjugated his personal self to that of his community. A soldier must at all times watch his behavior. He must be cautious, energetic, and not swayed by rumors. You must therefore choose the means you can best exercise self-discipline. In this, you are now possessed with the important weapon of training by what you can defend your country from catastrophe. Through this training, you can elevate your spirit and broaden your minds. If a man has a particular aim, he must work diligently to attain it. It is our high intention to ameliorate the living standards of our soldiers because we realize the measure of their sacrifices. A plan of higher and effective training and the procurement of teachers has been formulated and studied and will be put into effect